On my last few long runs, I've had a real difficult time eating the GU gel packets in order to fuel my runs. They've made me sick to my stomach. I don't even like thinking about them. But what I do really enjoy is candy. And since my kids have a whole bunch of Halloween candy, on this long run, I'm gonna answer the question, can I fuel my run with candy?
All right, 45 minutes has passed. Time for the first candy.
Even though it says 130 calories, it's actually about 43 calories per bag.
Some gummy bears. Already the taste of the gummy bears, way better than the taste of the gels. We'll check it a little bit to see the energy levels.
Now, these candies tasted amazing while I was running. They didn't give me that sick feeling in my stomach when I was ingesting them, but if you saw the calorie count on the nutritional facts, you can see that it was only 43 calories per bag. So I'm only consuming 43 calories here, where with a GU packet, I would normally be consuming 100 calories. So even though it tastes better, without knowing it, I'm actually getting less calories, which calories are, as we all know, the energy source for our body. Even though my fueling is less than adequate, about half the energy that I need, I still continue on my long run with a lot of eagerness and excitement because my stomach doesn't hurt. I did get calories in, and some calories is better than no calories. And so I can continue to run. I'm feeling great. I'm able to explore little spaces that I love doing while I'm on my runs. If I see little nature spots, I like to stop, take a look around, especially if I've never been there before. One thing I was quite worried about as I got into later stages of this run was the fact that these candies didn't really contain any electrolytes other than sodium, and even the sodium content is really low on most of these candies. And so usually the GU packets include potassium and sodium, two of the electrolytes that you really need to sustain yourself on these longer runs. But thankfully, because it's pretty cool outside and there's not a lot of sun, I wasn't sweating as much as I'd normally be on a warmer day.
I'm hoping this isn't private property. And I'm hoping that it comes down. Oh, nice. It leads to a clearing. My stomach feels great using the candy. No nausea.
This was a brand new route for me that I had never run before, and it was actually pretty sketchy because there was barely any place to run. So most of the time that I was running, there wasn't a designated path, it was just a bike lane. And whenever I could, I would get more into the shoulder of the bike lane or the road so that I could be a little bit safer and away from cars. Now, I didn't think people traveled on this road a lot, but they actually travel quite a bit, and there was quite a bit of traffic that I wasn't ready for. This actually kind of led to me having a higher heart rate than I normally would, just because I was a little nervous the entire time that I was running. I knew at this point that I wanted to get myself to our local park, which is a nice park to run trails at, but with all the elevation changes there, I knew I needed to fuel up. So my second candy was Monster Mash fruit snacks. My wife buys these for the kids for their lunches. I love them. Everybody loves them. They're Betty Crockers. They're the best fruit snacks. They're a little firm. They're not super gummy or springy, and they're delicious. They were an awesome choice, and I felt so good, and I really couldn't wait to eat them. And then they gave me a nice little burst of energy, but again, this second candy pack came in at 80 calories, which is 20 calories off than a GU packet would have been at 100 calories. So again, I'm not getting nearly enough energy, and you can see I'm already heading into some elevation changes that actually I'm not used to. especially on a long run. I've already gone about 10 miles on this run, and now I'm hitting elevations that I normally do not hit at all during my running. This made it extremely challenging and may have even burned more calories than I typically do.
I'm walking right now because it's incredibly steep. Going for the next. Halloween candy.
If you saw the nutritional facts on the back of that bag, you saw that there was only 55 calories per bag of those night crawlies, or those sour gummy worms. They're delicious. They're the minis. They're the best. So even though they're delicious, even though they don't hurt my stomach, again, I'm getting about half the amount of calories that I should be getting, which is hard for elevation like this, where I'm literally above the trail that I normally run. I can see the trail I normally run from this spot, and it's pretty crazy.
I'm already eating my next piece. I'm really hungry and having to eat more than usual due to the elevation.
Now, the Laffy Taffy was delicious and much more enjoyable than a goo packet would have been, but it still was leaving me vastly underfueled for this long run. And as you can see on my face and what I said earlier, I am starting to get drained. I'm starting to get really tired, and I didn't know it at the time, but it's due to the lack of fuel, but also because the amount of time I've been running and the elevation that I'm running at, which I never run at. I usually run at or below sea level, and the most amount of elevation gain I've ever had has been 600 feet. In this particular trail, I am 1,800 feet.
Been going down a lot of hills. As you can see, it's very hilly. This is another huge hill. Before I go down it, I'm breaking in to my last piece of fruit candy. I got one candy left after this. It's a Milky Way. I'm gonna eat this. I gotta say, although these are easier to eat, they do not seem to have the lasting energy that the goo packets do, but I never counted the calories. So, when I get back to the house, I'm gonna count the calories. See if it has the same amount of calories.
So what I didn't know here was that the calories were vastly undercounted for. I could start to tell that as the run came to an end, because as I normally have a lot of energy because I fuel properly, this run gave me the feeling of absolute deadness. I felt like I could no longer send signals to recruit motor units in my legs. I didn't feel dehydrated, I just felt physically drained of energy. And we know why that is. Not because of the candy, but because of the calories. You can see here I only had 259 calories, we'll call it 260 calories, from all the candy that I ate, which is the fruit snacks, the gummy bears, the sour worms, the Laffy Taffy, the Airhead. Although they were delicious, they caused me no gastrointestinal issues. The goo packets, if I would have had 4 of those would have given me 400 calories or 400 kcals of energy to run my body off of during that run. This is a big difference. It comes out to 140, which is almost a full packet and a half of a goo gel pack. So next time that I use candy to fuel my run, which I will, I'm going to make sure to account and match for calories, because it was way more enjoyable on my taste buds and on my stomach.